Alright, y'all. Tony Ray here. It's Grind Time Media. Hood Handyman back again with another short video. Showing y'all about basically how to get ready for the fall. You know, trying to get that last cut in, and maybe the second to the last cut. And you know, it's one of them things that, you know, when you try to cut your grass and the temperature drops a little bit, when the temperature starts to drop, your battery, you know, tends to not want to crank when it gets colder. So my battery, I can see it, but you can't see it. I bought this battery on 512, so that's 8 years ago. But this is a lawnmower battery that's been used, you know, just for in the summer, not year round, not like a car battery. My other battery is newer than that I took out of here, and it don't work at all. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to charge this battery. It tries to crank over and turn over a little bit, but it just won't crank all the way. So I'm going to plug this in, let that sit, and I'm going to hook up the terminals here and right here. I'm going to charge that bad boy up again. Alright, and let that sit right there. So now it's charging. So shortly, when I get ready to start the lawnmower, I should be able to get it cranked up. The thing I want to show you on this video is me going to change the inner tube on this tire. We all had those tires that, you know, you got to put air in it every single time you decide to go out and cut the grass. You got a slow leak somewhere. So this tire has a little bit of dry rot, slow leak somewhere in the waffle here on the tire, and you know, it just split, and now air starts to leak out. And it was a slow leak, and then it just got worse. It used to last the whole time you cut the grass, and then the next time you cut it, it'd be low. But then it started dying. It started going low right after you put air in it. So the way I'm going to handle that is, I am going to I ordered an inner tube off of eBay, and I'm going to basically put an inner tube in there. And now when I put the inner tube in there, I will be able to pump the tire up. So I'm going to show you how to put the inner tube up in there. This is a 13 times 5.6. It's going to go right in there. The first thing I'm going to do before I put the inner tube in, or before I do anything, is I'm going to take the old stem out and pull that out with a pair of pliers. And I wouldn't use anything too sharp anywhere in this project, because you can pop the inner tube. And you should just be able to snugly slip that inner tube. Some tires it's easier, some tires it's harder. I'm not going to lie to you. But let's get started. I got a jack sitting right there. And let's get started and see what we got. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is pull the stem out, because the inner tube that I have already has a stem in it. So you don't need two of them, you just need one. So I'm going to take a pair of pliers and pull. Should come out easily, but some of them, you know, want to give you a hard time. Or you can take a knife and cut it and let it fall out, whatever you choose to do. Alright, so that one wants to be a bear. So that means I'm just going to cut it and pull it out of there. Alright, so we're going to go to plan B. Plan B is the stem seems to not want to come off. So just to cut it off right there. Cut it right off. And you ain't got to fight with it. And then pull it out. Because obviously, there we go. Simple way to do it. Done. Alright. Cut the end of it off and then pull it right out. So now, let's jack the tire up. Jack the tire up. Yeah, you're not going to get it unless you got the tire up off the ground. So now that I got the tire up off the ground, I'm going to move the camera over here so you can see what I'm doing at a better angle, and I got a little room. So now that I got the tire up off the ground, the best thing to do here at this point, you're going to have to start where your inner tube part is, the piece that's going to come through here. So that's going to come through like this. You're going to take the little stem off, put that to the side, make sure you don't lose that, and then you're going to want to and it's going to seem like it's working out pretty well at first, and then it's going to get a little bit more difficult. But I mean, and you could just buy a new tire. The difference in this tire was not that much, but I did save. Oh no. Oh, okay. Don't act stupid today, huh? Alright. Slipped off the jack. It's okay. Gotta get it back up there. Alright. And the valve stem, it kinda went somewhere as well, but I get it. Okay. So where was I? Basically, you got to get this back in there and push it through. Alright. I got that in there. I pushed it through. And it really does help if it's warmer outside. I got an inner tube that I put in here earlier, and it snatched the stem inside the tire on my back tire. And that's going to be a problem one day, because I'm going to have to, I can't put air in the back tire because this thing just didn't want to work with me. So hopefully I have a better time here than with that one. So I just start pushing it in as much as I can. And I haven't grabbed any tools yet, or no sharp objects. You're not supposed to use sharp objects anyway. You just kind of work your way around and push that inner tube inside of this tire. Push it in there. You might need your tool shortly, or whatever you're going to use to pop some of the tire out towards you. And it's kind of chilly out here today, so it's not one of them days that feels the best. Alright, so now I got a rubber end on the end of this pair of pliers, and there's nothing that should be pointy on it. It might have a rock or something that could be really sharp, so you got to be careful. So at a certain point, it's just not going to push in there that great. But you can take this and kind of push it in there, as long as you don't get it pinched up too bad. If it's got rubber on the end of the pliers, then that's a good thing, because you're touching rubber to rubber. And push your tire back as far as you can. You gotta push all that in there, and then put air in it. And if you did it right, to work out. I don't have that far to go. I've been dealing with this tire, putting air in it and bringing out the compressor every time I cut the grass. And then I wait till the end of the summer to fix the inner tube. Show you how much time I got. Messing with stuff. I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. None of us do. Alright. So, that's up there. And you put air in it. You got to put it in slow because you don't know how that inner tube is going to expand in there. You don't know what you're going to get, but you do know you want to have all the inner tube inside of that tire, because like I said, it can do a lot of things. See, now it's trying to be sneaky and snatch the stem inside the tire right now, but I caught it. See, so if you're going to do this, it might be good to put a piece of vice grip, or well, you got to put the inner tube air in the tire. So but you got to watch this thing, because this thing will snatch itself right in there. Before you know it, your little inner tube be gone. And then it did you absolutely no good. So that looks like it's going to be successful. As long as that stem doesn't keep wanting to go in there. It does surely want to keep going in there. Alright. As long as I keep an eye on that stem, I should be alright. So now, we'll go get the compressor, and I'm going to go and pump this tire up and see what we got. Alright, so now I got my air compressor over here. And I'm going to start pumping up the tire. Inner tube went inside the tire again. It does that. I did it too early. That's how it happened last time. Alright, so y'all actually see what happened last time I did this to my back tire back here, where I changed the inner tube and actually dragged the stem inside the tire when I was doing this. So now I've smartened up and put a pair of pliers on it, and on that pair of pliers I also put a tissue around it so I won't damage the stem. And the last thing I'm going to do is get that little black cap. It fell on the ground, and when I get air in it, I'm going to put the black cap on it to make sure that the stem doesn't go back in again. So, I mean, if these vice grips don't hold it, it'll snap back right back in there and it'll be over. So let's hope it does, and let's see what we got. So I feel like I got enough air in here now, but I'll give you a tip: just don't quit on it, because if that stem falls in that if that stem falls inside of that tire, that might be your last crack at it. I had to take a crowbar and crack the crack the thread on the tire on the inside of the tire to be able to have enough room to finagle that inner tube back to this hole again. And it was easier said than done. So you don't know if this inner tube was pressing down all the way out enough to keep this stem on the outside of the tire. So that's why, now that I have the vice grip holding on to it, I put the cap on it, and maybe the cap will keep it from snatching back inside of that tube. I don't know. You might want to get a bigger cap, one that's got some dice on it or something. You know what I mean? To hold that thing in there. I don't know what's going to happen when I take this off of here. It can go right back in there. But we don't know. I will hold it with a pair of pliers, just to see if the pliers can take one off at a time. See, now it's trying to pull in there again. See? It wants to go right back in there. See? So you might solve the problem, but your stem's always going to want to go back in that hole, you know? Alright, so the stem stayed out that time. I mean, it's a little bit hanging out of there. So I consider this a success. The first time it was a failure. The second time I consider it is a success. So as I drive around and that pinched off inner tube that's in there starts to, that crinkled up inner tube, because it's probably not a straight circle. It could be bigger, could be smaller. It'll continue to push this out. So make sure you got enough air in it to keep that inner tube pressed out, that stem pressed out there. I got a little bit to get in there, and I could probably put air in it now. I'm just going to leave it alone. That looks good to me. I'm happy with it. Alright, Screen Time Media. This is how to put an inner tube inside of a tire on your lawnmower, on an inner tube that just keeps going down when you have a broken thread somewhere in there. Alright, I'm out. Bye.